y'all. Welcome to episode number 12 of the BS podcast. This is Bailey and Scott. And like I said, it's episode 12. That's crazy, isn't it?
You sound like a telemarketer. That's what that reminded me of.
What?
You did. Welcome to the podcast.
I didn't say it like that.
This is Bailey and Scott. How much is your electric bill this month? We might be able to save you some money. If you jump on the home electric saver plan.
Well, apparently I'm getting a bunch of free utilities.
Oh.
That's what my landlord said it early this morning as he called me.
That's highly exciting.
They started working on, there's apartments being built onto our house. And they started working at between 5:30 and 6 a.m. this morning. Banging.
That's
hammers. Early. And I was like, what is going on? I mean, I have to be up for work. So it was fine. But he called me to apologize. And he's like, I think you already left. And I was like, yeah, it's fine.
Well, that's nice of him to apologize.
Yeah, he was like, but you'll be getting a lot of free stuff because we're using the heat back here and it'll heat part of your house. And I'm like,
Well, that's a nice thought.
Yeah, so.
People try to be nice.
And then he said, if it gets hot, open a window. You're not paying for it anyway.
Well, that's a good guy.
Yeah,
What
he
a
is
nice
really
man.
nice.
That's a nice man.
I really do have the greatest landlords. I will say that. They
Well,
are so nice.
You gotta have that.
Yeah, the day that my dryer went out, they came over, fixed it that day. It was great. Well, they got me a new one because it couldn't be fixed.
Well, that's good. See, there are some shoddy landlords.
Yeah, he's great though.
Yeah, I've always had good luck with landlords. I don't remember any awful ones.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had an awful one.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Eventually, I'll buy a house and just deal with myself.
There you go. But I tell you, when you take on a house, that's a big, big responsibility.
I know.
Because if something blows up, it's all you.
I know.
But that's no big deal.
Yeah.
You deal with it.
If you have the means for it, though.
If you have the means for it.
Yeah. So hopefully, one day. One day.
One day soon, maybe.
Yeah. That'd be
Very
awesome.
soon. Now, last episode, we forgot to talk about the bobcat.
Oh,
That
yeah.
apparently is in Caledonia.
Yeah, so did you go out for your walk today?
Yes, and I'm still here,
Oh,
so I was
so it
not
didn't
mauled.
get ya.
No, but I don't like the idea.
I don't.
I don't like the idea of this bobcat because there's already enough people who have these dogs who they don't put on leashes that are running around already trying to bite me. So
Yeah.
I don't need a bobcat out there.
I
as
don't
well.
have any animals.
Well, I'm not walking in front of your house. I'm worried about where I'm walking.
I know, but I was just saying, I don't have any animals, and I don't want any.
No, I don't like animals either. I'm not a big animal
I mean,
person.
I don't mind them, but I don't want them at my house.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Unless it's a pig. Like a little teacup pig.
A teacup pig.
Oh, yes, that I could just carry around with me everywhere in my purse.
Don't you have to feed those things?
Yeah, I mean...
And let them out?
Well, yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, but it would be so worth it.
Really?
I used to have a pet pig that lived inside my house.
And they make funny noises.
Oh, yeah, and you know what? I will tell you. I had a potbelly pig, and that sucker was mean.
They don't really oink.
No, but she would always root me.
Oh.
And that hurt. Caden used to be so scared of her. Like, he would stand on the couch. I'd have to carry him in and put him on the couch, and he'd stand on the couch because he didn't want to put his feet down because she would try to get him.
Now, what happened to this pig?
Well, we found her boyfriend and sent her away to live on a farm.
Now, is that true?
Yeah, that is actually true.
That sounds like one of those, she's really sausage now.
No,
That's what
no.
it sounds like to me.
No, it's true. She wasn't a pig that you would eat. She was potbelly. So,
I don't know.
yeah.
That sounds shaky.
She wasn't like a market pig or anything.
What's the name of that pig?
What?
Did you name it?
Oh, yeah, Gracie.
Gracie.
Mm-hmm.
Gracie the pig.
Yeah. We got her for free. It was back actually before I was married, but I was still with my ex-husband. So he knew I loved pigs, and so he got me this pig.
That's a nice gesture.
Yeah, he saw it at a gas station. The people that own this gas station had it for free. They just wanted to get rid of her. And so he knew I wanted one, and so he came home, got me, and we went and picked her up.
I can't tell you how many times I've went to the gas station and bought, barnyard animals. That happens all the time.
Well,
I've picked up sheep and goats and all kinds of things at the gas station.
Yeah, well, it would fit in right at my nanny's house She has sheep and llamas and goats and horses and pigs and like everything. Chickens.
I must be going to the wrong gas stations.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you gotta go to Delaware.
I've been to
where they are.
Delaware.
Yeah, but those are the gas stations you gotta go to.
I like Delaware.
Me
I like
too.
Delaware downtown.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like Upper Sandusky downtown, which is very nice at the holiday time.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty.
Although I did not make it this year to Upper Sandusky. I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah, I thought you were going to.
I planned to,
I know.
but I ended up in Columbus that night,
Oh. Yeah.
which was okay. Columbus is fun.
Yeah. I go to Columbus a lot.
Yeah. So I never ended up there, but I ended up in Columbus, and that was a good time.
Yeah. I think Delaware would be a good place to live.
I think it is, but I think it's also on the cusp of becoming a problem type of a city because it is so close to Columbus and it's almost becoming a suburb.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of those people who, in expansion like that, there's always an issue with that.
Right.
I don't know. I like being able to get to places easy. I don't want to drive 20 minutes to go to the grocery store.
Right.
Or live like a half hour away from a hospital.
Oh, like I do.
Well, actually, that's trouble. Because if you're having a stroke, dead.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like, I love where I live, but I'm 10 miles from Delaware, 10 miles from Marion, so I'm right in the middle. I could go either way.
See, I want that chopper ready.
Yeah, well...
If I start to feel dizzy, I want the chopper blade spinning.
there's, like, an ambulance in Prospect where I live, so, they could probably keep me alive until they get me to the hospital.
Well, you hope. But things like strokes and heart attacks and sudden events like that a lot of time people put off because, I'm just under the weather.
Well, my fear is, like, my allergies. Because, my EpiPen doesn't always work. So,
are you sure it works at all?
I am not sure that it works at all.
And we had dinner not too long ago. And you were eating this stuff, and you thought that you must have had a real fear that there could have been something
I
in
did.
that. And you said, okay, now here's where
My
the pin
EpiPen.
is. And you've been telling me for months now that you're not even sure this thing works. And I'm thinking, what am I
Well, it's expired.
Right, so what
cannot-
am I going to do?
I don't know, but, I can't, like, first of all, they're super expensive, and I really just can't afford a new one. But, even if I could, they don't have any in Marion. Every pharmacy that I've been to, and now I could call around, but I've even tried in Delaware. Like, I went to Kroger Pharmacy in Delaware. They don't have it.
I mean, you could order them.
Well, I'm sure, but, like I said, don't have the money for that, so...
Well, you can't. That's life and death.
Yeah, but I don't have $500 to just...
How do
throw
you
out.
check an EpiPen to see if it still works?
Well, my cousin's a nurse, and you can't check it to see if it still works. My cousin's
So
a
then,
nurse.
what's the point
and
here?
she said that it doesn't really expire. It's like if it changes colors. But, mine probably doesn't work because I haven't kept it in, like, you're not supposed to keep it in extreme heat or extreme cold, and I just keep it in my purse, so it's, like, always with me.
So really this thing
sometimes
does
it's
not
hot.
work. So, like, right now, if you went into an allergic reaction,
Yeah.
you'd be dead.
Well, my EpiPen's in the car, so...
But you just
we'd
said
be in
it's
trouble
an
anyway.
extreme cold.
I know.
That will not work.
I know.
Oh, man.
I know. But you know what? I did have my EpiPen with me on vacation one time and used it on someone else.
Now, was this back when it was working?
Mm-hmm. It worked for them.
Why?
It actually saved their life because they got stung by a bee. And they were, like, deathly allergic to bees. And they came back and... Because they were out in the woods and they were, like, swelling up and stuff. And he's like, I'm allergic to bees. And so I was like, okay, well, I have my EpiPen. And I had to inject him with it.
Now...
I didn't even know this person.
Well, you just hit him in the thigh, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But I didn't even know him. I was
But you
just...
saved his life.
I did.
Just another day.
Yeah.
Just another day.
Look at me being a hero.
Well, is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's good. A hero with an EpiPen.
Right.
Now, how much does an EpiPen cost?
I think like $500-$600.
That's not horrible.
Well, you
To
know
save
what?
your life.
Yeah, but it frustrates me. It frustrates me so bad that it costs so much. with it being something that is so life and death when there's other things that are free. So,
What's free?
like Narcan.
Oh. Well, that's an interesting subject because I don't... See, here's the problem. I don't want to see anybody die.
I don't either. And I know someone, personally, that has been revived with Narcan.
Right. So I don't blame the people who bring people back with that because anybody would do it.
Right. And I'm not saying that I wouldn't. But I think if that's free, then EpiPen should also be free. And so should insulin.
Well, diabetes is interesting to me because I think all the strides that have been made there, I mean, the pump. I don't think people realize that 15 years ago there was no pump.
Oh, I know.
And that you had to use needles and you had to inject yourself. I mean, I remember my aunt was who married in was a horrible diabetic. And she's dead now. Died young because of her diabetes was just such a horrible thing. But I remember when I was young that she was type 2 and she would go into those convulsions and shocks, and you had to force orange juice with a lot of sugar in it down her throat. After the pump, that didn't happen anymore. You could get over that.
Oh, I know people with the pump.
Yeah, the pump saved a lot of... The pump has saved... That is... I don't think that's been touted as a big part of medical miracles, and it has. That pump is huge. You don't have to do that stuff with orange juice anymore. That used to be common practice for a diabetic. Right. So that's kind of interesting to me.
Text it. But, yeah, I mean, like I said the other day at basketball, I saw someone with a diabetic, pump in their arm.
The pump is great.
Yeah.
I mean, for people who were frightened of needles because they had to give them shots and they had to give themselves 2 or 3 shots a day.
Yeah, I actually, when I lived in Alabama, I had a neighbor one time who is diabetic, and she had a pump, and I remember just seeing her parents have to change. Whew, she would scream and fight. It was horrible. She was younger than me.
Diabetes to me has always been the worst illness because it increases, and I don't think people realize this, it increases your risk for just about every other illness by about 50%.
Yeah.
I mean, it increases your chance for amputation. It increases your chance for going blind. It increases your chances of a stroke. It increases your chances of a heart attack. It increases your chances of everything that can kill you by about 50%. And that's why it's not touted like it is, because diabetics will die of strokes and heart attacks, and people will say, well, we chalk that one up to heart disease and stroke. But really, it was their increased risk because of diabetes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a scary thing. It is a scary thing.
It really is.
I will say that. Yeah.
So when it increased your risk to that level, that's scary. But so I've always believed that diabetes was something that needed a lot more publicity. Even though people know what it is, there's no diabetes pins or months that we celebrate like other things.
Right.
And not that those things shouldn't be celebrated, but we just don't.
Yeah, I know. It's scary. It's scary.
And more people have diabetes than I think any of those other diseases.
Yeah. Ugh. It's hard. It's hard, I don't know. I just can't imagine.
But you can live to an old life, and you just got to watch it. You just have to keep an eye on it. You have to keep your insulin levels straight, and you have to keep moving forward. Which is a good thing. Medical science has made a lot of things very possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, so many things. So many things that didn't used to, you'd die from, within a month. They're prolonging your life so long now. And, I mean, I wish that there was more, because there's so many diseases that just suck, and that there is no cure for. I mean, so many. And it's sad to see.
You know what I want to talk about? Since we started...
Something not sad?
Well, yeah, because I thought we needed to get away from this for a second.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good conversation to have.
How did our Bobcat conversation get onto this?
Well, because really, what can you say about the Bobcat except don't go near them?
Right.
I mean, there's not much to say about that. But I did hear today that it's really not like a thing. I mean, it's like one.
What, the bobcat?
Yeah, it's not like ever going to run into people.
Yeah.
It's out in a field somewhere.
Well, I mean, like, we had a bobcat on the military base when I lived there, and people's house cats were disappearing because they would, like, eat them. But...
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah.
Mice and little things.
Right.
Not people.
Right.
So
I mean,
it's...
My brother told me he wanted me to catch it so he could have it as a pet. I was like, yeah, I'll get right on that.
Well, what I wanted to say was, because we don't have any emails to address or any comments to address this time, do we?
No, but I did put our email on the Facebook page.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, because we've been getting responses on the Facebook page because of pictures.
Yeah.
And it helps because the
does.
the listeners have went up. But now here's the comments that I don't like. Well, I don't dislike them. I just think they're strange.
Yeah.
Because they're from people I don't know.
Well, the one is your friend on Facebook.
But I've never met him.
Okay.
I don't, or her. It's like a double thing.
Right.
And I hope they're listening. I mean, I'm glad they're listening.
Yeah.
But the comments were strange to a degree because one of them referred to me, and I don't know this person at all.
I do.
This is your people.
Yes. It's one of my friend's dads.
Okay, now do you want to say what he said?
He called you an old frog.
Call me an old frog. Now what? I've never heard that expression. Is that an expression?
I don't know, but it's awesome.
That call somebody an old frog?
Oh. I've never heard that, no.
I had never heard that. I don't know if that was... I was trying to figure, is that a plus or is that a negative? Because old frog sounds like a negative, but...
It might mean you're wise.
Well, but I think it could also be like, because the way it was phrased, I thought it was maybe like, I was... I don't... The way it was phrased to me, what I thought it meant was that I had trapped somebody or something. Which, maybe that's a plus. But it sounds bad. It sounds like old frog. And then the other one, which was interesting.
Oh, yeah, that was a plus for me.
Well, I've never heard that saying either. Arm candy. They called you arm candy. Now, what does that mean?
I don't know. I mean, maybe that I'm pretty. I don't know.
No, I'm sure that's what it meant. But I just don't get what... I guess they're trying to be nice. So, I mean, I think both those are positives, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, mine might be more positive than yours, but...
It might be, but, I mean, they both... I don't think they were negative.
No. I mean,
Comments.
it was not a negative comment, either one.
No, and I found that nice. Because a lot of the comments we've discussed that people have said have been from the negative side of life.
Yeah.
So it was nice to hear two positive comments that I think were like, go get them, what's the podcast about, I listened, I like the pic, whatever it is.
Oh, my favorite is, you guys are funny.
Yeah, we're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my goal in life, to be funny.
You're falling
and
short.
Happy.
You're
That's
falling short.
rude.
You're falling short, but that's okay.
That's rude.
We all fall a little short in life.
That's rude.
But it's interesting because I like both of those comments.
I should trademark that.
What?
That's rude.
I don't know if you'd be able to do that. I think that's one of those things that's already what is that? The pig has left the barn on that one.
Oh.
Yeah.
You think someone already has trademarked
I don't
it?
think you can trademark such a common phrase.
Why?
Because everybody says that. I
Good,
probably
they can start paying me for saying it.
Oh, greed.
Just kidding.
Now, there are going to be more podcasts coming up that can't be discussed at this particular juncture, but
Yeah.
boy, it's going to be big.
And merchandise.
Merchandise galore.
Yeah.
There's going to be so much stuff going on in about the next 30 days. It will blow your mind.
I know, I'm excited.
Right. And if I don't have to replace you, you'll be along for most of the ride.
Right. Well, I mean, at least wait to replace me until, the summer.
The summer. So in the summer, I can slice you out.
Well, I know that we have a couple trips,
Well,
so
we do.
I
Those are big.
I would like to be around for those.
But you want to stick for the trips. Other than that, you're out.
No, I want to...
You're out ski.
No, I want to stay involved. Because
I know there are some other people who have thrown...
I know!
Like,
everyone's just like,
indirectly.
hey.
Indirectly, but they have.
Man, everybody wants to replace me. That's kind of sad. I'm irreplaceable.
Now, honest to goodness, though, wouldn't you want to spend time with me like this?
I
loves
do
me.
spend time with you like this.
Right, and that should tell you that I'm the best.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite thing to do in my free time.
But see, you say that like you don't mean it.
No, I
No,
definitely
say it
mean
like you mean it.
It's my favorite thing to do in my free time, spend time with you.
Why wouldn't it be?
Right. I know. What better things could I be doing?
I'm an exciting person.
I know.
I've started to realize this in life because there's like a lot of people now who are in my
Bubble?
and I don't want people in my bubble, but they're in my like atmosphere.
Oh.
You know, they're in my sphere.
So I think it's funny. I go from bubble and you're like atmosphere. We went from like close to like space.
Well, yeah, they're not. I don't want them close,
Right.
but I want them. You know, they're in my orbit. That's the word I was
Oh,
looking for.
there
They're
we go.
in my orbit, and I like having people in my orbit.
Yeah.
People I like.
Right.
People I don't like, they're not in my orbit, and I can cut people out. I'm good at that.
Yeah.
We talked about that last time.
I know.
Although I don't like to do it.
Yeah.
See, I think I misrepresented. That's a good thing to fix here. I misrepresented that last time like I enjoy cutting people out. I don't enjoy it.
Right.
I just do it sometimes because I think that's what should be done.
Right.
But I don't like it.
Yeah. Well.
I avoid doing it if I can.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah.
Because I listened to that last time and it sounded like I enjoyed it. It's like I just cut
I mean,
somebody
maybe
out.
slightly.
Well, it depends on who it is. If it's somebody
Yeah.
who's like a real jerk, well, yeah, I don't mind cutting them out altogether.
Yeah.
But if it's somebody who I find out later on that I should not have cut out, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But so
I cut some people out today.
did you?
Well, I mean, I guess technically
They
cut
cut
me
you out.
but it was just kind of I didn't care.
It's been a week for you about being cut out.
I know.
Scissors and paper and all.
Yeah, but hey, whatever. I mean, do what you gotta do, man.
Well, that's it. I mean, life goes on.
Yeah. I was not sad about that. I mean, they can't cut me out major, so.
No. And a major
They
cutout takes
still
time.
have to deal with me every day.
You know, there are certain people, I was thinking about this the other day, there are certain people I don't know that I could cut out. Now, I guess you can cut out family. I was thinking about that too. Can you cut out your family? You probably could.
Yeah, but it's hard.
It's harder.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have so many ties to them. But,
I feel like some of my family's cut me out.
well, it can happen. Oh, there's a lot of my family I don't talk to now. I don't know if we've cut each other out. We just
Yeah.
don't have, we don't live close. We don't.
Well, that's true. I mean, like, I still go to my family's. Like, I went for Christmas. It was interesting.
I stopped doing that a while ago. If I don't want to go, I don't go anymore.
Yeah.
Like, my family every year has a Christmas event, usually somewhere in Ohio, because
Yeah.
my mom has 3 brothers, and they all have families now. So they have this big thing every year, and I've never went to it.
Yeah. Well, my grandma's birthday's on Christmas Day. So, I always go for her.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've always been around my grandparents and my parents on Christmas. But that event, I've never been to.
Right.
And it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
But I never go. Because I don't it'd be like futile small talk with people I don't see during the year. And then one day I'm supposed to act like, oh, this is so great.
You know, I wonder if we actually, like, recorded us one day, like, a videotaped. It would be so entertaining.
Of this?
Especially the days that my kid's here.
Why? He's good.
I know, it's just fun. Yeah, he is being really good today. I will say that.
But I am not big on just doing things because that's the norm. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'm an outside the norm person. You would
Right.
think I would be more of a norm person, but I'm really not.
Yeah, I think I've come to a point in my life where I'm going to have to start cutting people out. And just, and you know, honestly, today, though, like, I stood up for someone and I didn't feel bad about it. Like, I didn't feel bad that I was hurting someone else's feelings because I knew what they were doing was wrong. And so it felt good to be able to stand up for someone else when they weren't there to defend themselves. And, you know, I mean, if people don't like me for that, then I'm 27 years old. I don't care if you like me anymore. Like, get over it.
Well, being liked should not be the goal in life.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to be hated, but being liked is not really the goal. I think being liked has become a goal because nobody wants to be hated.
Right.
But I think the real goal in there should be to be appreciated.
Well, and you know, like, I was thinking about it today. I don't care if you like me. My life is great. I have, you know, amazing things happening in my life right now. And so I don't need anyone else to validate me. Like, my life is great. So if you don't like me for whatever reason, well, then you know what? You don't like me. It's okay. My life is great.
Well, you know,
with or without you.
Well, it's an interesting thing because you can always tell what people are in it for. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody will turn on you, that's usually a sign that they really are only there for certain reasons.
Right.
Because why else would you turn on the person?
Now, I will say, like, there would be some people in my life that if they didn't like me, it would bother me. You know, obviously. But they're people that I see as very important people in my life that I do love and care about. And so, you know, if that was the case, if they were mad at me or upset with me, that would bother me. But just like people in my everyday life, like me or hate me, I just don't care at this point. I don't care anymore.
You know, I'm usually unaware when somebody dislikes me. I mean, because I don't think about it.
I just kill them with kindness.
Well, because I don't know if we ever talked about this. Is interesting. Like, I don't call people.
Yeah.
This is a great flaw of mine.
I know.
I don't call people. And so, like, if I wouldn't get a call from somebody,
well,
I probably
funny.
wouldn't.
It's true, because I'll call you, and I'll even tell you that I'm calling you, and then you won't answer, and I'm, like, text you. I'm like, I called you, and you're like, oh, call back again. And I'm like, why can't you just call back?
Well, but I don't know. That's like a phone phobia, I guess, because I don't call anybody, and I was having this conversation with somebody earlier today, and I don't know why that is. So maybe that's one of the reasons I'm unaware if people are angry with me, because one of the ways you usually know that is they're not calling you, and you're not calling them. Well, I'm not calling anybody anyway, so I just become unaware of it.
Right. I just blow up your phone until you answer me.
So if you're not, like, in my daily groove, I don't know.
Right. Well, like I said, I just blow up your phone until you answer me, so...
Well, I mean, we've had moments over the years, but I think most of those
over the years?
Why wouldn't it make it seem like...
Oh, okay, yep.
Over the 4 months. Does that sound good?
Over the years.
Over the 4 months, we've already had moments where there were... I think they were unintentional, because, you know, you and I don't think I've ever had an argument.
No.
I don't think there's ever been, like, a raised voice. Mm-mm. I don't think there's ever been a name. I don't think anybody's ever been called a name. Mm-mm. And we've spent a lot of time together in 4 months.
Yeah. And I mean, any time that something, you know, bothers one of us, I think we're pretty good at talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we might ignore each other for a minute and then talk about it. But hey, it works.
Who did that?
I don't have any idea.
I don't know. I've totally forgotten about everything.
Right.
But... no, I think it's interesting when you talk about not caring, though, and cutting people out. You know, cutting people out is a harsh thing to do. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you have to look at why this person is there. And you know, in life, it's not hard to figure it out. Now, you can leave toxic people in your life. That's fine. I mean, nobody's the boss of anybody. But the point is, when you look at your life, who is making your life better by their presence being there?
Well, you know what's funny is I actually ran into someone over the weekend that I had cut out of my life. And, I mean, they obviously knew because they would talk to me on a daily basis. And I never said a word. I just blocked them from everything. Just blocked them. And it had been since September. Like, I blocked them in September. Well, they saw me at McDonald's over the weekend. And was like, oh my gosh, Bailey, hi! And I was like, oh, oh no. And it was the most awkward conversation ever. But I was nice, because I'm always going to be nice to everybody. That's just how I was raised. Like, I'm not going to be rude. Now, you can push me to that, but if you're not doing anything at that point in time, like, I'm not going to be rude to you.
I have a 3-day rule when it comes to that. Now, like, let's say I cut somebody off who I really didn't want to cut off. Mm-hmm. Like, I really don't feel bad, but I might miss them. But 3 days.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, after 3 days, I'm over it. Because if I haven't talked to you in 3 days, and I'm talking to you a lot, by that point, it's set in that I'm not talking to you.
Right.
So after 3 days, then it's easy
Yeah.
to just be done.
Well, yeah, she asked me to text her. So, she did. She asked me to text her, and my text was not that nice. I will admit that. Because I said, I unblocked you. What do you want to talk about?
And did she respond?
She never did.
Well,
And so then I text back the next day. I said, well, guess you didn't want to talk. And then I blocked her again.
Well, but there was an iffy pass there,
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, for sure. So, yeah, but it was just funny, because I knew she instantly regretted saying anything after she saw me. You could tell, like, after, because it became awkward really quick. And so she instantly was like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And she even told someone that she shouldn't have done that.
Well, some relationships are permanently severed because of an event. Now, this is reality. I mean, there are sometimes some things you can do, and I don't even know if a lot of times they're intentional.
Right.
But, boy, you better be ready because you can tick people off quick.
Yeah.
And it will... I don't know if it ends it all the time, but, boy, you can create a lot of distance between yourself and that person just by doing something that... I think people just need to be more introspect. Trust is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you better be able to trust. We talked about this a long time ago, and I think it's still an interesting conversation because I see a story about this every week. And I always think about doing the story on the radio because it's become a huge thing about taking provocative pictures and putting them on the internet. Now, I see a story about this every week, almost every week. Now, I think you're going to do it. That's just the way it is now. Kids are doing it. 18-year-old kids. If you're under 18, you shouldn't be doing it. But if you're over 18, kids are going to do it. And college kids are going to do it. And married couples are going to do it. And boyfriend and girlfriend are going to do it. And it does happen. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing about that. Much like you better be able to trust that person.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I tell you what. 3 years ago, so my daughter was in 6th grade. I will never forget this because I was at the old high school across the street, and I was at Safety City, Safety Village graduation for Caden. So I get a phone call from the school, and I'm like, I'm here. Why are they calling me? Well, I get a phone call and says, hi, Mrs. Hunt? I was like, yes. Are you Courtney's mom? Yes. Well, we have the cops here. And I'm like, oh no. And she didn't do anything wrong. Someone had asked her to send those kind of pictures, and it was brought to the school's attention, and so they called the cops in to investigate.
And she's under 18.
Yes, because she was 13 at the time. And so, that's illegal.
Right.
And she never sent anything, but the kid that, asked, because it wasn't just her, there was a bunch of girls that he asked.
But, the reality of the situation, I guess, is no, not with kids. Don't ever do that. But it is not reality in the cell phone era to not say to somebody, text me a picture, blah, blah, blah. It happens.
Yeah.
And even if you think you're getting out unscathed, there are people who do Instagram and all that, and they do that there too because they don't see the person a lot. Yeah. And they think, but then there are also people who are in the room with them, and people just take pictures. So it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But what you have to remember in that, it's going to happen. The idea that it's not going to happen and those pictures aren't going to be taken or you shouldn't be taking those pictures, that's just fairy tale world.
Right.
But the point is, you better be able to trust that person, and the question you better ask yourself is, even in anger, are they going to turn on me?
Right.
Because that's something you can turn on somebody.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, I was aware of that situation, before the school had ever called me. Because I do go through my kids' phones if I feel there's a need. And, I don't really do it that often. But occasionally, you know, if they leave it around or whatever, I'll look through it. And I won't even read the messages. I'll just skim through it and see if there's, like, anything that I don't like. And all I saw was the word no. And so I was like, well, what did they ask her? You know, because I knew who it was. And so I was like, well, what did they ask her? And then I saw it, and she, you know, when I asked her about it, she completely was like, yeah, this, and I was like, okay. So I took care of it, and it wasn't until he started asking other people that's, you know, she got brought into it at school. Because I had taken care of it outside of school. I had contacted his grandparents, because that's who he lived with, and I'm like, you know, like, this is what happened, and I just want you to be aware, like, I am not okay with that, so, you know, I don't want them to be in contact anymore, but, like, I can't change it, so, you know, nothing was ever sent, it's fine, but I just want you to be aware that this is what he's doing, so you know in the future.
Well, it's interesting, because I also think that, on the flip side, because that's a negative side of it, I think that little gestures that sometimes people don't do are important.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think sometimes it is nice to do something nice for somebody that they're not expecting.
Right.
And you know what? Unfortunately, in this day and age, that is a picture.
Yeah.
But remember, you got to be able to trust that person. And to me, that's a big sign of trust. If somebody sends you a picture like that, well, hey, you know, you must trust me that I'm not going to stick you in the... Because you could.
Mm-hmm.
You could very easily. And so there are also little gestures. But not just that. I mean, there are... by the way, do you know what a palantine and a... What was the other word? Palantine and galantine. Do you know what a palantine and a galantine are?
Well, I'm assuming a palantine is like a Valentine, but like just for one of your friends, like a guy friend, and then a galantine would be like a girlfriend.
I did not realize these were things.
I mean, I just guessed on that. I've never heard of that.
That's a thing now. That's in stores.
Oh.
Galantine, palantine, Valentine.
Interesting.
I did not know that, but I'm
I
starting
guess
to see
I haven't really paid attention, and I was at the store earlier.
Well, it's interesting because I've noticed that Valentine candy and things like that are now being marketed to your, and this was the sign, it said your love, your friend, or your just because. And I think that's an interesting that a multi-million-dollar business store would market that way. I don't know if it's not working, if less people are together now, and that's why they're doing it that way.
Maybe. I don't know. But I do know that I saw on the news 60% of those candy hearts are going to be left blank this year.
Left blank.
Yeah, like, you know the candy hearts that say the words?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the name for those today. They have a name.
They're called sweethearts.
No, they're called something else. Oh, they have a name. Oh, gosh. I heard this like 3 hours ago.
I have no idea, because I thought they were just called sweethearts.
That's weird. They have a name.
Oh. Well,
yeah. Ones with the little...
Yeah.
Yeah. Why blank?
I have no idea. I didn't actually read it.
Was that like a mismanufacturer or something?
Maybe, but it said 60% were going to be left blank.
Well, that's more than half.
I know.
Well, what's the point?
I don't understand that, because, like, who eats that candy just for the taste? Nobody.
No.
It's not good.
No, what do they say? They say things like, be mine, and...
Some say text me.
Do they?
I think so.
Wow. I haven't bought those in a long time. But they don't taste good.
My kids bring them home from, like, school.
They just don't taste good.
I know.
1 year...
I like chocolate. Any other kind of candy, I'm just not a fan of. I like Starburst.
Starburst are good. I think a lot of people like Starburst.
Yeah.
It's a hybrid between gum and candy bars. But it's a good hybrid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think Valentine's Day will be interesting this year because I don't know what people are doing anymore. I think it's different than it used to be. But they certainly do still sell a lot of stuff in the stores.
Yeah. I don't know. What are you doing? Oh, goodness. Yeah, I mean, are you going to buy anything for anybody for Valentine's Day?
Well, it's not on the agenda right now.
Yeah.
But I might, because I didn't realize it's like Palantine, Galentine, Valentine, just because apparently there's a lot of people who I could buy stuff for.
Yeah. I like Dove chocolate.
You should tell somebody that. But I think
I'm
that...
just kidding. Kinda.
Well, you know what I think's interesting? Because I had the conversation on the radio this morning about flowers at work. Now, tell me that's not why people want flowers at work. They don't want houseplants. They want flowers because they want them to be delivered. They want people to see them being delivered.
Oh, yeah.
They want them on their desks so people will stop by and go, oh, who sent you flowers?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So why would a houseplant? You wouldn't want a houseplant.
I don't know, but I know, like, when you get flowers and stuff delivered at work where I work, you have to go up to the front desk and get them, so then everyone sees you walking through the halls with it. And then they stop you and like, oh, you got flowers?
You know, sending flowers for me is a big deal because I've done it, but I don't do it with everybody. You know, it's not like some people, everybody they date, they send flowers. Or people they're not even dating, they send flowers because they want to try to impress them.
Yeah.
That's not impressive to me.
I used to send my mom flowers for different things just because I knew, like, her husband wouldn't. And I know that she likes getting them. So, yeah. I mean, he might now. I don't know.
Well, I was thinking today, because when I was having this conversation about the flowers, I was thinking of all the people who I've sent flowers to at work. You know, had them delivered and paid the delivery charge and all that sort of thing. I bet it's one hand, the people who I've done that for.
Well, I was not on that hand.
You were not on that hand. Darn.
I know.
But I guarantee, because it is a lot of work, because you have to know what kind of flower they like. You don't want to send the wrong flower.
I like hibiscus.
You want to know. You want to know. Well, like, that's an easy thing.
If anybody wants to give me anything for Valentine's Day, I like hibiscus.
Oh, see, watch yourself.
I like
you're
Dove.
making a mistake.
I like Mountain Dew.
You're opening your door here for bad things to happen.
I'm not single, but I will accept gifts.
That is rough. Because, see, you know what I would like for I was thinking about this the other day, because men really don't get anything on Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Well, they don't, because you wouldn't want I wouldn't want flowers.
No,
what
but
am
I mean,
do
you
with
can
that?
get them something.
What? What do you? Well, this is a good question. This is a podcast question. What do you get a guy for Valentine's Day?
Okay, well, I know something that you would like, because I know you.
Maybe.
Okay, I do. If a girl got you a card and wrote a very nice, long message.
Oh, I'm into letters.
Yes.
Because I keep them.
Mm-hmm.
Long after the relationships are dead, even the friendships, because I'm kind of worried about text messaging and emails, because I don't think people are going to keep them. And I think 100 years from now, or 60 years from now, when people get old, and right now people look back at letters they got in high school and college and things like that. That's not going to be. It's going to be gone. So I'm still big on people taking the time to write letters out, because I have a container. I put them all in, and it's also where I keep like pictures from trips and things that I print off that I don't want to get lost, on the internet. So I have all that stuff in a plastic container, and it is interesting sometimes, because when you go looking for a picture of something, you see all those old cards in there, and it reminds you of those people.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing.
Did you see those pictures that I was tagged in on Facebook yesterday?
I don't remember. What were they?
I was like little.
Well, I don't think I saw them.
My aunt tagged me in them. She's like, I was cleaning out my room and found these pictures of me and my cousin. We were both 7.
I miss like half your posts. I see so few of them.
I know.
I don't know why. I should.
You see the important ones.
Do I?
Yeah. You saw the one today.
I did see that one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I see the inspirational quote of the day. Because,
yeah.
Because it's
That's like first thing in the morning.
Right, and not a lot of people are on Facebook yet at that
Right.
time, so I see that. But really, the other ones I've totally missed, unless you've said go back and look at this.
Right. Yeah. I'll have to show you those pictures.
What's
I was so cute.
It's funny. Somebody was talking to me about pictures the other day, because I don't have any pictures when I was a kid. My mom has all those pictures. And I was thinking the other day, I need to get a picture. Oh, you know what? I might have some pictures of when I was a kid, because I think I have some pictures that my grandmother had of when I was a little kid.
I'm going to look and see.
They're interesting to look at.
Yeah. It is. It is very interesting. I love, looking at old pictures and stuff. It's so funny.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is the internet going to eliminate that?
I don't know. I mean, I just get, like, my memories on Facebook now. And it's, like, back to, like, 10 years.
But what if that, you know, do you remember when MySpace was big?
Oh, yes, I remember
But
that.
that's dead now. And the pictures are all gone. What if
Yeah.
that ever happens to Facebook? What if there ever becomes a new social media that trumps Facebook? Are people going to go back
Look
and...
at that. I was the one with the short
Oh,
hair.
my. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I still
Yeah.
look the same. Yeah.
That is old.
Yeah, and then there was another one in the comments. It was so funny. Look at this.
Oh,
Wasn't I
look
so
at
cute?
That. How old were you there?
I was probably like 5 or 6, maybe.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, I might have been. Yeah, I might have been older than that, to be honest, because I remember having that haircut when I did competition cheerleading, and I was like 8 or 9. So
I think my mom has everything, but I really don't know. I
Yeah.
know at one point she did.
my mom has a lot of my stuff. Like, I think I still have my baby shoes, like my first pair of shoes.
See, I don't know if that stuff exists, but I know that she has, like, schoolwork when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
And gray cards.
Mm-hmm.
And pictures. And I don't know what else she has, to be honest.
Yeah, I keep my kids' stuff like that.
Yeah. I think she did. But I don't have it, and I've never asked to see it. So, and to be honest with you, if she dropped dead, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I like your mom.
She's okay.
Well, I like her, and that's all that matters.
I had to get her off the phone this morning.
Oh.
Because she's got this thing where apparently she wants to call me in the morning. And I was in a rush this morning to get out, and I said, I gotta go.
I'm gonna have to start calling you in the mornings.
Well, I
Just
needed
kidding.
to get to the studio.
What time do you leave here?
Depends on if, like, I have a guest coming. And this morning I had a guest.
Yes.
So I wanted to make sure I got there before she did. Because sometimes they don't unlock the doors
right.
early enough. So I was trying to get there particularly early this morning. And of all morning, she calls. And I didn't want to not pick up the phone because I thought, well, what if somebody's dead? I probably should see. And, because you never know when somebody's going to drop out over the night.
I know.
So I picked up the phone and
Scary.
then she wanted to have a conversation. I said, listen, I've got to go.
Well, you know, it happens.
Well, I go long periods of time without talking to my mom. Like, that's probably the first time I've talked to her in 2 or 3 weeks. No,
Sorry.
There's no.
I'm like...
Well, there's no bad thing there. It's just we don't talk.
Yeah.
Every day.
I see my mom every day. Because we work together.
I would probably take a pill,
My
right to die
mom-
pill, if that happened.
My mom packs my lunch for me every day.
See, me and Mom, we don't have that type of relationship.
Yeah. My mom's like my best friend, though.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have there's nothing wrong with my mom. She was a good mom.
Yeah.
But she's done now. She was a good mom. Very good mom.
She was a good mom. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I'm just
she
kidding.
fell out somewhere along the line. But she was a good mom. She went to every play I was ever in. She went to all my parent-teacher conferences.
You did plays.
Oh, yeah.
That does not surprise me.
Yep. Did plays. She went to baseball games I was in. She was at everything. Everything I ever did. Always, like I think I've said this, always had good Halloweens, always had good Christmases, always had good Thanksgivings,
That's good.
4th of Julys, fire, whatever. She did
Yeah.
it. She was always a part of it. So I never had a bad relationship with her. I just didn't. I think I had friends, and I think I had. When I went to college, we just didn't. It was not like when I moved out of living with her. I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
We didn't call each other, and it's always stayed that way.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just like you kind of both have busy lives and
And she still works full time,
yeah.
and so do I.
I love what she does too.
Yeah. So we don't. I mean, we get together. I mean, it's not like we have. But no, we don't.
Well, I know
converse a
I've
whole
seen
lot.
you both in the same room together.
Yes, we were every so often. That happens. But I see other family members more than her.
Oh.
She's not the one I see the most.
Yeah. Who do you see the most?
Right now, probably. You know, I probably, because he lives closest now, I probably see my grandfather more than anybody else.
Yeah. You go visit him a lot.
Well, yeah. I stop by and make sure he's okay.
Yeah. That's
They're not
good.
long visits, but as far as seeing, I probably see him more because I'll
Yeah.
stop for 15 or 20 minutes and make sure he doesn't need anything.
How old's your grandpa now?
Old.
Old? Yeah. Never met him, but
No, he's around though.
I hear about him
Yeah,
on the
he's
radio
fun.
sometimes.
He's fun. Yes, that comes from Martha.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they live together
Oh,
in an apartment-ish
Yeah.
type of place
yeah.
for old people.
Right, like an assisted living type
Assisted
place.
living
Yeah.
type of thing. But, no, I mean, he's fine health as far as he's got no diseases that are going to knock him out, but at his age,
Right.
life could knock him out in the middle of the night. So,
Yeah.
that's what I thought this morning. I thought, well, but that wouldn't. It's strange to me because that really, I would just continue on to work.
Oh, yeah.
I would. I've never taken a day off work for somebody's death, unless the funeral. I had to go to the funeral that day.
Oh. I mean, I get it, though. I guess. If someone's going to give me a day off work, though, I'm going to take it.
Well, I usually I don't like to even talk about it. I don't
Yeah.
like to deal. I don't want to.
You don't want to deal with it. That's
No.
your way of coping. It's just kind of
No.
like pretending it didn't happen.
Yeah, it happens. There's a little bit of shock to it, and then let's get back to
normal life.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because you know what makes me feel like even when if I ever have a down moment, which is not very often, being around, I like to be on, and there is an on.
Yeah.
Because when I'm home alone, I'm not on. It's off.
Yeah.
I can do what I want to do. But as far as when I'm in front of people, I try to be interesting or entertaining or something, even if it doesn't work. And that works for me. That gets my mind off anything that's going on that's bad.
Yeah.
And that includes death. Like, I remember, I'll never forget, I had a serious death, a person I was very close with.
Yeah.
And totally shocking. It wasn't expected at all. And nobody knew about it. I knew about it because I was there. And it was close to the election time. And there was election coverage. But the obituary had not run yet. So if nobody had not told anybody,
Right.
nobody knew. And this person was totally fine days earlier. It wasn't like an illness
Right.
that people were aware of. So they died totally unexpectedly on Monday morning. And I went and did election coverage Tuesday night. And nobody knew.
Yeah.
And then the obituary came out Wednesday morning, and they were like, why were you here last night? How could you be here last night? What in the world are you doing? But
Yeah.
it was a coping thing with me. I was able to go in and not think about that.
No, I get that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know that I've really had anybody like super close to me die.
It's okay. You think it's going to be awful, but it's not. It's not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
Unless your life is wrecked and ruined to begin with.
Right.
If you're in a bad way to start with, well then yeah, that's probably going to be bad. It's just going to add to the bad stuff that's already going on. But if bad stuff's not going on, you can get through it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. Like, when anything ever happens to my grandparents, that'll be hard on me, for sure.
All my grandparents were alive into my 30s.
Yeah.
So I knew them for a long time. So yeah, those were different.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't estranged from any of them.
Right. I mean, I'm 27. My grandma, I think she turned 76 this year. I don't know.
All mine lived into their...
Oh, yeah, because she was born in, 43, I think, so.
Yeah, all mine lived into their 80s. At least.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's a scary thought, though, because, I am very attached to my grandparents. They are, kind of like a second set of parents to me.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah.
That may have been more difficult than I think even deaths that you would think would take precedent over those.
Right.
But you get through it. There is hope.
Oh, yeah. I mean, life goes on. Regardless if you want to say that or think that or not, it really does. I mean, it's hard, but it does go on, and you have other people that you have to be there for, and you have to be there to take care of yourself, and if you have kids, take care of them, so you can't really...
Yeah, but when I've walked out of those things, when it was somebody I particularly liked, because you have that final moment when you're walking out of the funeral home before they shut the lid. Or sometimes you do it at the graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
When they're having it. I always make sure I walk by and I say, I'll see you whenever I get to where you are. Because that's true.
Right.
I mean, eventually I'm going to be there too.
Yeah.
And if there is nothing, I'll never know it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather live with the thought that I think there is.
Oh, I mean, I know there is.
Right. So there you go.
So, yeah. I mean, I guess I can't say I know personally just because of life experiences, of people that can't make that up. But I would never, try to force it on someone else.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If there are people who are on the fence, I mean, I have my own beliefs, but if there are people who are on the fence about it, the truth is, don't be upset about it. Because a lot of people who are on the fence about it are scared of death.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big fear. Well, just think of it, you won't know.
Yeah. I think of it this way. If you believe, then, if you believe and you, live that lifestyle, okay, well, you're saved, so, you're going to heaven. But if you don't believe, because you think that there is nothing, well, or, I guess if you believe and then there's nothing after, then, okay, well, it doesn't matter, you don't know. If you don't believe and there is something after and you go to the bad place, then that's not good. That
was the most complicated... I'm going to have to listen to that 7 or 8 times to understand what you just said. Holy moly. What?
It really... So, if you believe and nothing comes after, right. There's no heaven or hell.
Okay.
Then, okay, well, you never know.
Right.
So, it's good to believe, because if you don't believe
right.
and there is a heaven or hell...
Right.
then you might regret not believing if you go to hell.
Right.
So...
Is that what you said?
Yeah, but not in those words.
Why did that take 10 minutes the first time?
I have no idea.
Holy,
yeah, I
understood at that time.
Yeah, so I think personally, my beliefs, obviously I believe, and I will 100% say that all the time. You don't have to agree with me, and I'll never force it. I'm not saying you personally, but anybody, doesn't have to agree with me, and I'll never
Everybody
force
thinks
it
I'm an
them.
atheist, and I don't know why.
I know you're not.
People do.
Yeah,
I don't understand that, but that's okay.
No. I know you're not. So I know your views and stuff. But I also I'm never going to force it on anybody. Now, if you have questions about it, ask me all you want.
Well, this is interesting, and I won't tell you. I just won't. It's I won't tell you who I vote for. I won't tell you how I feel about abortion. I won't tell you my religious views. I won't tell you about life and death. But this is why people think I'm an atheist. I think this is why people think that I'm for abortion. Which, by the way, I think that's I do think that's a stupid saying. Nobody is pro-abortion. Now, people are for choice, but nobody goes around saying get an abortion, get an abortion. Nobody. Those people don't exist.
I've seen some of those people on Facebook.
Well, then
that tell people well, you need to. I mean, and even people that aren't asking opinions, they're like,
well, then they're nuts.
I need some friends because I'm 16 and pregnant. Well, you shouldn't be having a baby. You should have an abortion.
Well, that's
and I'm like, ooh, that triggers me because I was a teen mom, and I'm like,
right. But what most people, when they say they are not pro-life. First of all, I don't like that saying either. Who's against life? Who's anti-life?
Yeah.
Nobody. That's a dumb saying, too. That whole pro-life, pro-choice, I think it's stupid, both of them. What that really should be about, do you think the woman should have a right to choose? That's it. That's the whole question in that whole matter. But but people think that I'm pro-choice. Mm-hmm. People think that I'm an atheist. People think that that's the ones I hear the most. But the reason they think that is because I won't tell you how I feel. And most people in this area are pro-life. And most people in this area are very religious. We have 900 churches in this
Oh,
county.
I know.
So when you won't tell them, when they ask and you won't tell them, they don't understand why you're not telling them. My reason is because I do want to interview atheists. I do want to interview pro-life and pro-choice. So I'm not going to tell you how I feel about that. In my opinion, and that, to be honest with you, is really irrelevant. I know what my beliefs are in those situations, and I've said before, I would never recommend somebody get an abortion, but it's my right to believe what I want. If I am pro-life, good. If I'm pro-choice, good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. No, but I totally understand what you're saying, you know. I mean, I think I know more of your views or whatever in a way, just because we talk a lot, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what's funny. In the last presidential election, because we covered it so heavy, and everybody always wants to know how I vote. Especially, like this year, I will get that question more than any other question. And I could honestly say, up until the last presidential election, because I voted in every presidential, always have, it was 50-50, Republican, Democrat. And I could honestly say that. Now, that doesn't tell you who I voted for, because you don't know which 50 is what.
Right.
But I can tell you that in presidential elections, that's how down the middle I really had been. Now, the only reason the last one swung it is because it was just an odd year. You know, it was going to push it one way or the other, no matter where I went. Because it was the 5th presidential election I voted in.
Right.
So, it was just even. But it was even. When I look back and I thought, wow, I voted Republican twice and I voted Democrat twice. So this will swing it one way or another. But this year could swing it back the other way. Who knows?
Yeah.
But everybody
Do you
thinks
even know who's running yet?
Not yet. But they are so sure of how I vote. And they are so... There's one person, I'll tell you, it's kind of funny. One person found out something about me and was shocked. So that's how good I am. And that's I guess if you think I'm an atheist, and I guess if you think that I am pro-choice, then I guess I'm doing a pretty good job of hiding exactly how I feel, which is good.
Yeah.
Because I stay good with both sides by doing that.
Well, I mean, I always think you should, I treat everybody the same. Like, I'm never going to put someone down for believing something that I don't believe in, because not my place.
I just think writing somebody off for those, I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, it's not my place. Like, and as a Christian, like, it's definitely, that's definitely not what you're supposed to do. You know, it says that you're supposed to treat everybody how you'd want to be treated, and you know, you're not supposed to judge people.
I just don't understand judging people in general. I mean, if you believe something, why do we have to believe the same thing to be friends?
Right.
I'm sure there's something down the line that we don't agree on. Why should we take the 99 things that we do agree on and throw those out the window for the one thing we don't agree on?
Oh, yeah. I think it's our music. No, I'm just kidding.
That could be. It could be that. It could be. Julia Nunes. Check it out.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, go to YouTube
No,
now.
actually, we have some good music choices. I don't know. The one day I played Eminem, you were kind of looking at me like, what?
No, I like Eminem.
I know, but it was just maybe that song.
I thought it was odd that, because up until that point, I didn't know you liked that type of music, and I thought you were like one...
Just country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
I really like all types of music, but...
I've been shocked about the music that we liked similarly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, really, check out Julia Nunes, because
she's amazing.
I mean, I really think she is.
Mm-hmm.
And that video, I mean, I really have watched that, like...
I know.
60, 70 times. I think she's so good in that. I think she's better than Bruno Mars doing that song. I can understand it when she sings it.
Oh, yeah, same.
And she's no makeup, and she's in this room, and the music video's not like blowing things up and your typical music video. It just is the coolest video. I think, and I like she's got a lot of videos online, but that one, what's the song?
That's What I Like.
That's What I Like.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Julia Nunes, That's What I Like. You will be a fan.
Yeah.
And then check out the Ed Sheeran one. That's a good one that she does. And also the Cake by the Ocean.
Yes.
Those are the three that I think are just... Boy, you will be a fan if you watch those 3 videos.
I love Ed Sheeran.
He's good. He's good. He's got a lot of good stuff. But he's kind of stuck in a certain type of song about a certain thing. Does he ever
I'm
write
okay
about
with
anything? No, it's okay, but I'm saying, I mean, like if he ever wrote about something else,
Well,
I'd
he's
be shocked.
on one of those Eminem songs.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, I like versatility. I mean, he's great,
I'll
but
have to play it for you.
don't you like versatility?
Yeah.
Like, I think all the great performers could do funny songs, they're not all about the same thing.
Yeah. I'll have to show you some of his songs.
Very nice. Oh, this was a great podcast. This was
Yeah.
Real Thinker.
Definitely.
I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
So...
We got some deep topics and some funny topics. And
I think
sad
things that...
and, man,
Well, but they're honest.
we covered everything.
I think that's what a podcast is supposed to be.
Yeah.
You definitely learn something through this
Yeah.
podcast, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
You probably learned a lot about me.
that's all you need to know. So until next time,
Peace out, Girl Scout.
Oh.
Ooh.